We've been here for months.
Well, hey, y'all, I know y'all probably miss us. Life got in the way. A lot of things in life going on. We had to do things.
Life be life. It never gets in the way.
That's true.
You got to speak
And
positive.
this ain't the only thing we do.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Without a doubt.
Fatherhood and lifing and working and stuff like that. But the wheels keep rolling.
That's right. We keep up the good mission. All right.
Yes, sir.
The mission to build the people, to build up the mentality for the better ways for everybody in general.
Well, I'm liking what I'm seeing, the protests. I want to participate. Today, your senator announced that he's stepping down. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I get it. Now, going to that, the Democrats have to step up. He wants to step down. The Democrats have to step up. You do not want a Republican in there or an independent who could be swayed.
Here's the issue. I don't. We're doing too much. It's paralysis analysis, right?
Yes, sir.
We're always talking about, well, the Democrats ain't doing this. It's not a messaging problem. It's not this. It's not that. Here's what I know. Now that people are feeling the pain, now is the time. But you have to find a way to say, well, I don't even know if that's true, because all the Republicans ever did was say, we they ain't doing this and they ain't doing that, right?
Yes, sir.
But now we can tell, we have the opposite message. Republicans are doing this and they are doing that. Your eggs, $8. That hamburger you was complaining about,
$30.
Right. The one that you can't put your avocados on now.
Oh,
yeah. The ones you can't put your tomatoes on.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
The reason you ain't getting your Folgers Instant Cup.
And you got your man saying his big beautiful tariffs. How beautiful are these tariffs?
I think we underestimated. What's the word I want to use?
And then I'm gonna add on to that before you get to that word.
Okay.
All right. Now they spoke about how tariffs were back in the day before they, gave a lot of personal taxes and all that. Right. That was before the Great Depression. And
well,
how do you think we stepped into it?
The nation was developing industry. Tariffs work when you're developing an industry. So if you don't want foreign products come in, you want people to preference the product that is made nationally, you put a tariff on the other thing. So example, it's a bad example, but solar panels, right? It's cheaper to be made in China, but you want to develop your solar panel industry. One, because there is a certain amount of defense that goes with it. You don't want to be drawing your power from a potential adversary. Two, it helps you develop industry and job growth and things like that, right? Three, if you can do it better than what they're doing it, and you have a producing a higher quality product than what they're producing, it's kind of like, do I buy the Ford Escape or do I buy the Lexus RX, right? Like, yeah, my product is more expensive, but look at the quality that you get, So tariffs do have a place. The way we're going about it is like a bull in a china. Like, first of all, you can't tariff everything, right? Like, the reason the world has had the stability and the peace is because we are all interconnected through trade, right? I don't care about coffee. We don't grow coffee in this country, right?
True.
And you're concerned about the trade deficit with Colombia. Have you been to Colombia? It's cheap. So there is no way that Colombia or Colombians as a whole can match what we put out, right? They can't afford our goods. They're current. So there's going to be a natural trade deficit. Trade deficits aren't necessarily bad, especially when you're getting products that are staples in your economy, i.e., coffee. We don't grow coffee here. Guess who does it pretty well? Colombians, right? They do it well. We like their coffee and all of that stuff. Now, we might be able to give them some corn, but Colombia ain't the size of the United States.
Very true.
If every single Colombian bought American corn, there would still be a trade deficit.
So very true.
But here's what I was going to say. We underestimated the people's naivete about tariffs. And now there's this great reckoning, right?
Yes.
So now people are understanding, wait, yeah, that is a tax on us. Yeah, that's what we've been saying.
For the longest.
But I'm checking myself.
Let it out, bro.
No. We got to get beyond the I told you so's. Right? Like, our country is in a constitutional crisis. Why the media isn't saying that, what he is doing with the courts and what he's doing to this gentleman in El Salvador is a constitutional crisis.
I'm going to jump on a few things there. The media's not saying it because the media is scared of him because he got the courts in his pocket.
I think it's more than that, because one of CBS reporters just came out and took a knee, excoriated CBS for kind of taking a knee. And I think we're all, and even some of the powerhouse law firms, and you're like, wait a minute. They got lawyers, and first of all, government ain't got lawyers because laid half of them off.
Yeah.
So why are you taking a knee? You paying all of these associates and attorneys big bucks. You're big law. This is supposed to be the crown jewel of what attorneys want to, some attorneys want to work at and be at, right? Why are you just taking a knee? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that say? If you're not willing to fight for yourself, why would I retain you to fight for me?
True.
And some law firms have, like Jenner and Block here, they're fighting. Harvard literally told him to go yourself.
Oh, wait a minute.
I know we jumping. We jumping. We jumping around, but Harvard was like, no, we're Harvard.
Right. And that's it. You got to stand up to them. And some of these folks who should be standing up to them are not. And
that's what we need to be talking about.
Yes.
It's like you're supposed to be fighting, and here's the thing. He is routinely being beat in court until we get to the Supreme Court. But the ones who are following the law, he's routinely being beaten, right? The judge today excoriated the president, the Trump administration for the games they are playing with this man in El Salvador. And every time I'm looking, it's like you're giving them a 3-day extension, 3 days to answer this, answer that. And my question is, y'all understand this man is still in a prison that he should not be in. And we come from a country where it says it's better for 10 guilty people to go free than one man to stay in jail. But we have this man in not wrongfully, according to the government that prosecuted him, was a clerical error. That's one. Like we are minimizing this man's pain. He has been away from his family. He is in a foreign country. He's not even El Salvadorian. He's Venezuelan, right? He was working. He has a daughter. He was living and doing what we want our citizens to do, right? And we talk about this term due process, and due process just means fairness. Like, the government has to prove its case. It just can't be judge, jury, and executioner. And that's what they did in this case. They said he's a member of a gang. We find him guilty of being in a gang, and we're going to ship him out based on an act from 1812.
Yeah, and let's even take it deeper, because there's the other case. Let me get it right. I think his name is Mahmoud Khalil, the
the gentleman who was lost his visa because of the protest.
Yes, yes. His child was born. All he asked to do, he said, I will wear an ankle monitor, whatever. Let me just go see my child come into this world. They denied him.
That is what defines this administration, is the particular cruelty of it. Now, I don't remember, there's the young lady who was talking about, like, co-wrote a piece, did not demean Israel, but was pro-Palestinian and talking about
The young lady in Boston where they surrounded her. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there like, well, I'm looking at this and I'm like, y'all lucky someone didn't have a weapon, because you walk up on me and you ain't identify yourself and you just start grabbing me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And this is
Agreed.
because she co-authored a piece. Like, and there's nothing that was demeaning about it, but it was about the Palestinians' rights to exist, right? But you violated her due process because you have to be notified that they're going to cancel your visas, right? And then you get the chance to self deport, right? And so here's the thing, and I think they know what they're doing. This is to create a chilling effect, that will perpetuate throughout history. We are getting some of the best and brightest from other countries. They come here, right? Peace is not had always through power. Peace is also had through exchange of ideas. So what do you think happens when other citizens come to this country and they participate in the American diaspora, right? They go back to their countries, or they come and they say, oh yeah, this is America, right? When you have, and what you're doing here creates a chilling effect, it puts you at odds with other countries, right? Hip hop is a perfect example of that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Hip hop is a not only American, a Black American phenomenon that has been exported throughout the world. People want to come here and participate in dance contests and music. Like, I understand other countries have their music and their top 10 Billboard lists and stuff like that, but they want to be number one on American Billboard.
That's true. Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So when you are doing this, you know what I'm saying? You are having a chilling effect on other countries. Why would I, if I'm a parent in another country, want to send my child to college in America knowing that they're doing this to other people's children?
And then a lot of that too is that they want to make,
America white again?
well, I'm not even gonna go there, but yeah. But no, they want to make more money. You know what I'm saying? Because was there not a gold card or something that he's trying to put together to get the filthy rich from some of these other countries to come here? I'm trying to
Yeah, let's
remember.
think about that long term. What you think is going to happen when China gives its citizens all the money that they can purchase all the stuff? You're already at odds with China because they're buying up half of the farmlands and stuff,
Right.
or not China, Chinese citizens are buying up and all of this stuff. So
Yes.
what do you think is going to happen when you open this up? Other countries are just going to fund their citizens to buy American citizenship.
Absolutely.
And so you want to get rid of natural right or birthright citizenship, then what becomes the metric by which we determine our citizens?
Very true.
You got to remember, you and I are citizens because of the 14th Amendment.
Yes.
Right? But I'm sure they want to repeal that too. 13, 14, and 15.
Well, that's why they're trying to get rid of the birthright citizenship.
That's exactly, and he wants to do it.
That's the beginning.
The executive fiat.
Yes, that's the beginning.
Now, you also have to wonder, you control the House, you control the Senate, and let's just say the Supreme Court. I know it's supposed to be neutral, but whatever. So
6-3, bro. 6-3.
Why not do this through the mechanism it was supposed to be done?
Yes.
That's what we need to be asking. And it will be our indifference that will put us in a situation that we find ourselves, as my dad used to say, in a trick bag that you can't get out of.
So very true.
You know,
So very true. And let's touch on one of his cronies here,
which one?
Pete Hegseth.
Oh, the DEI hire?
Yeah,
Dumb exclusion idiot.
exactly. Exactly. It was a second signal chat that
We know of.
Yeah.
And who is he talking to? His wife
his wife,
and his
brother, and his lawyer, correct?
Sure.
Yeah. Now, why do you feel that you have to tell everybody who you're about to attack? What sense did that make?
It's not only that.
I
He's
mean,
military.
And
So
he knows better.
you would think. You would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But let's go back to the drawing board.
He had a couple drinks in his hand.
No. Let's go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Who was his original critic and said you shouldn't do this? His mama.
Oh, I forgot all about her.
How? The mom was like,
I forgot all about her.
Mom was like, you know how bad you gotta be for your moms?
Your mama say no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't, not my baby. Not bless his heart. Not
that's too much for you, baby. That's too much.
Your moms came out. Your mother, the one who gave birth to you, was like, ooh,
no.
You wrong.
No.
Nah.
Go back to Fox News.
Yeah, baby.
Go back to Fox News.
You was good at Fox News, baby.
They love you over there.
They love you, baby. You want to do this Department of Defense,
and they give you all that alcohol you want. Don't
right,
they?
Right. Your mom came out anonymous and then was like, maybe I shouldn't be anonymous. She was anonymous at first and then said, not my baby.
Yeah.
Yo, and y'all still your moms.
Yeah.
Your moms came out and said, no, right? But
exactly.
And now, you got the whistleblowers, right? I don't know. I was watching a story the other day, and people, we are really trying to find other topics to talk about. But because we haven't been on so long, and we try not to be a political show,
we're trying to give it all to you.
You're trying to. But these are the things that we have to talk about because things don't exist in a vacuum. And we only on day 90. We ain't even reached 100 yet. I mean, like, we only on day 90. Like, we got 10 more days.
Didn't I say one of our last shows we need to circle the wagons around each other because it's going to be a heck of a ride?
But look, this is what's crazy. Is like one of the attorneys who was defending one of the guys who got deported got stopped at the airport, and was examined by customs, and they wanted to go through his phone and stuff. And so these are the type of things that they are doing, like the intimidation. This is a level of government intrusion, and we have sycophants in the government who are willing to do this. And you think about the SS from Germany, but they didn't start off as the SS. They started off as the brown shirts.
Yes.
A cadre of individuals who were willing to do whatever, that type of diehard loyalty is hard to beat. It is. Mm-hmm. It is hard. And it's when it wields power, it is very scary. The fact that a clerical error resulted in, I think he was a naturalized citizen, the guy who's in El Salvador, but being deported means what you are willing to do to him, you're willing to do it to me. Right? Yes. And that's the scary part.
And they've already touched on that they talked about, hey, these people who are burning down Musk cars and so forth, they can go there too. And they didn't care who it was.
He joked. They said he joked about it, but he was serious. That's not, you as the president of the United States are not afforded that latitude.
Yes.
And that's the scary
and I
part.
was about to say, that joke was under a little ruse. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know that's the truth. That's what he wants to do. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and if they can do it to him, they can do it to you.
Yes.
And you find yourself, and we have sent a senator and a representative down there to talk to this guy, and El Salvador won't let us talk to to the
No,
citizens.
no. You know what? I think the senator did get a chance to talk to him.
I thought he did not.
No, no. He got a chance to talk to him. Now he's still down there, but he did get a chance to talk to him. Now that he
And
did.
and here's the problem: the Supreme Court now, you know, they are trying to, I guess, rein in the power, but it's too late. Like you already done said, if he does it as president, it can't be prosecuted,
Yes.
and it's like, no, power has to have limits, and you're seeing now how he's defying the lower courts, with what's going on. Um, Even we can't even stop these tariffs, and everybody is saying these tariffs are bad, right?
Yeah. Every economic is out there is saying that. Every one of them. But yet nobody listens.
Well, I mean, we're listening, but he ain't.
Yeah.
So, and you have no mechanism to stop him.
Only thing slowing him down is the stock market. That's it. When he sees that stock shooting down, he's like, "Oh, I'll slow it down to this, and I'm trying to cut a deal and all this other crap."
Businesses like stability,
Exactly.
and so when you put in these timeouts,
when you go on that roller coaster type deal,
right? 401ks look like a countdown right now.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I don't know what the protests have to continue. We have to try to make it to the midterms if we can.
Yeah. And then it's proof that those protests are working. I mean, it is talk that Musk is going to go on and go back to Tesla now.
He's going back because Tesla stocks have fallen like
exactly
like a brick in a river.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Keep it strong. Keep it going.
Well,
keep your foot on the neck. I'm sorry. That's how you should.
Well, first and foremost, I always kept saying words matter. Stop saying Musk is doing this, Musk is doing that. Trump is doing this, Trump is doing that. Musk was just the hatchet man to do it. And now we see, he's been exposed as the emperor with no clothes because everything that Doge has done is a lie. Matter of fact, what has just come out, I think a couple of days ago, were Doge accessed some either Social Security or some national system. And this guy who has come out under the whistleblower protection is sounding alarm. He was like, look, they took off all security measures. We have no idea what they did. We have no idea what doors they left open. What I can tell you is that someone with IP addresses in Russia on certain times and certain days keeps trying to hack our system, and they have access to it, and so our system is now compromised, right?
Yes.
Social Security compromised. Everywhere these people have gone is now compromised, right? We don't know what back doors, they've left open. We don't know what they access. We don't know why they access it. The whole thing with when Musk wanted to meet with the Department of Pentagon officials regarding China attack war plans. Well, wait a minute. You're supposed to be cutting the budget. Why are you talking to the Department of the Pentagon about our attack plans for China? Like, why do you need that information? And the only reason it stopped was someone leaked it and was like, okay, that's a bridge too far. But we know Musk is in bed with the Chinese.
Yeah.
And all Trump has done is accelerated the decline of us to put us, whereas we may have been, let's say, 3 to 4 steps ahead of China in terms of parity. Now we're in this, they're going to be up, we're going to be up, they're going to be down. It's going to be this back and forth. And the problem with being back and forth is that once we think we start even, people start beefing.
Yeah. And you got to look at it. Out of all the countries, once he started doing these tariff things, it was those countries that was coming to kiss the ring. All right.
Right.
China was like,
We got
I
rare
ain't scared of
elements,
you.
right?
What you want to do?
We got rare elements.
Right.
Everything that y'all need, we got.
Right. And
You
they
know.
like, what y'all want to do? I mean, what did he shot the tariffs up to like 125%. They shot up back at us at 135. It kept going back and forth. They don't have a fear of it. And
The,
could you blame them?
the problem is, like I said, once you achieve parity with a country, that causes issues. Like people will recognize, the big dog on the yard, and that kind of keeps people at bay, right?
Correct.
China was committed to a 100-year plan, right? They were like, yo, we've been here for 2,500. We'll be here after you. Y'all literally are like children to us. And I heard another guy say, it's like, yeah, we're kind of in our adolescent stage. We don't know what we want to be. And when you think about it, it's like, yeah, like we are not used to being the bad guys, right? And we are now that.
Right.
We have caused instability in the economic market. Does that mean that some of the things that he is trying to address should not, be addressed? No, but you do it in a way that is systematic, sustainable, that respects your relationships without alienating those relationships, right? We all thrive on security, right? Israel exchanges information with us. We give them information. Germany gives us information. We give them information. France, England, all of these things.
But he came up in a bully mode type thing, and you can't just, all right, back in the day, yeah, I understand. Back in the day, you could probably bully some of these countries.
Yeah, that was
You
called
can't-
1947,
yeah,
48
you
when
can't
America
do that
right.
no more.
Yeah, England, France, all of them were rebuilding.
So you
Yeah.
cannot do that anymore.
There is power. People think of power as hard power. All power, there's soft power, there's economic power, so US aid is an example of soft power, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are feeding other countries. We are taking care of your citizens. What does that do? That makes other citizens or other people grateful to the United States, right?
Correct.
We were the bulwark of democracy, like, Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? How you flip the script on Ukraine and say, this is Ukraine's fault, when it's like, wait a minute, I can either believe your lying lips or my eyes. I was like, no, we saw Russia attack Ukraine, and we saw them bomb civilians.
But you have a man who admires another man. And and that's why he's trying his best to throw all of that on Ukraine, because he sits there and wants to be just like Putin. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, bro, you are not Russian. You are not in that system. You know what I'm saying?
Well, part of, and again, it gets to the racism. If you were going to choose a partner, if you're going to sell out, why would you sell out to Russia as opposed to China? You know what I'm saying? But it's because, well, we don't. Your racism, says I identify more with Putin than I with Qin or the president of China, whose name is
it escapes me right now.
But and I should know that. But it's because you have chosen to align with Russia. You know what I'm saying? Our what keeps China and the United States kind of at bay and stops us from fighting is our economic interests are tied in with each other.
Yes.
Right? Our economic interests are tied in with each other. We take their cheap goods, they buy our food, and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but Chinese are not going to buy Ford. They're
right.
I've been looking at some of these YouTubes, and they were like, yo, some of these Chinese electric cars make Tesla look like trash.
Yeah.
And that's not saying, well, they're saying one is better than the other, but you have to recognize what your strengths are.
But anything's better than that Cybertruck, bro. But man, I'm sorry, that's one ugly Straight up.
Well, I don't want to offend our listeners who might have a cyber truck,
Hey,
you know.
hey,
But,
they offended themselves. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
wow.
I'm
Wow.
sorry. I'm talking about
Give
that.
us a call at 708-223-8953 if you want to put
Come
Rich in
on.
his place about his cyber truck and the bumper falling off. Yo, that's, I get it.
Hey, I
But,
don't care. It is
so
what it is. They ain't been caring, so why
yeah,
should I?
hey, but literally you cannot. People cannot sell their cyber trucks back to the dealerships. That's how bad it is. I'm dead serious. Like they are like, yeah, I'm trying to give it back, and they're like, no. Right. So yeah. But let's bring this forward. What do you do in this time? We have lost our sense of unity, and I think about my parents. My father was actually born during the Depression. My mother, 31 and 41, were born, so they came up during that Depression type of era. They dealt with Jim Crow.
Yeah.
They dealt with de facto segregation. They dealt with that stuff. And that gave them a certain type of demeanor and I think that's what happened. That Generation X. So it's not, I guess they're baby boomer. No, they're not baby boomer. Whatever that generation, silent generation,
I
baby
think that's
boomers.
something on that level. So.
Whatever that generation is. And between baby boomers and Generation X, the focus for generation, and I think that's part of our problem too. Generation X was just kind of quiet. Like we work hard. We try to, we took our focus off of social politics and dynamics.
Yes.
Right. Because, many a times, my parents like, you don't know what hard is, just go to school, blah, 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 and I think we lost something in that, and so that makes organization harder. Like I think about the bus boycott being organized in the Birmingham churches. We are not as active in our churches, so you don't have that social center and structure anymore, right? And so this digital medium becomes this new way, but there's something collegial about being in that same space.
But see, and the thing is, we don't use this digital medium how we should, because we could use that to get to that level.
But I think it's disempowering. I think it's disempowering. I think
because we're using it the wrong way.
No, I think there's something empowering about coming to a church or to a central body. Like there's something empowering when you see the masses out there listening to AOC and Sanders.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I always say individuals are smart, but people are dumb. But when people are raised to they're better angels, there's mass and power in that. And I think when you are sitting in front, it's like going to a concert, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's a different feel.
Yeah,
and I get 100% of what you're saying.
I enjoy Michael Jackson, like,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to see Michael Jackson in concert,
that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother energy.
But this is what I'm saying. With this and what is going on, we're going to touch on a couple other things that will connect with that. Okay, everybody can't be there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be there. So don't turn off from it because you can't be there.
I'm not saying that.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. People do that. They say, oh, well, that's over there. And I ain't got no time to be over there to do whatever this may be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, you can connect with it and build with it. Just like this thing that's going on right now. And I'm going to connect this with it. With the young man named Carmelo Anthony. And I'm not talking about the ball player, y'all. Just in case if y'all don't know.
Yeah, give him the background.
All right. Now, this is a young man from Texas. All right.
At a track meet.
And I thought you was a football player.
No, it was a track meet.
It was a track meet.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. All right. He has been harassed by this other gentleman. I think his name was Austin Metcalf, if I'm correct.
Well, it was two twins.
It was two twin brothers.
A pair of twin brothers.
Yeah, right.
A pair of twins.
And he felt threatened for his safety. Now, do y'all remember what I'm saying? Threatened for his safety, threatened for his life. He had that feeling. All right. So he defended himself, right?
Well, they said that these two gentlemen approached him,
Right.
and some words were exchanged, and they started beefing.
Right.
And as I recall, and don't hold us to this, he walked away and went to his bag, and they came up behind him, or there was
because they was bullying the boy.
There was some. I don't know. I don't like to use that word bullying, but there was clearly some animus that took place between this gentleman and Carmelo.
Yes.
And as first reported, as it always is done, it was made into a racial issue.
Yes.
You can't ignore the racial politics behind it. And of course, when it first came out, it was, oh, he just stabbed him, right? But as it turns out, he retreated, and they came after him, and he stabbed one of them.
Right.
And it was at a track meet. It was at a school event. And he stabbed him. I think he tried to, like, as soon as he did it, he tried to, help him or something like that, like that. But he didn't run. He was arrested. And one of those first things is he going to be okay? To me, that shows, remorse, thought process. Anyway, his bail was originally set really high. Then there was a bail rehearing, and there was money into a GoFundMe.
Right.
And there was issues with the money being used for his bail, but I don't remember what that exactly was. But I'm not sure if he's out on bond or not.
I think he may be out on bond. But the thing is, people got bothered and perturbed about it. But not that long ago, the kid that came from Illinois went to Wisconsin and decided to shoot people in the protest by the name of Rittenhouse.
You talking about my man with the M16? Yeah.
Y'all,
the AR-15.
Yeah, but y'all, how much did they put in his GoFundMe? Was it like something like $3 million, $4 million? And he's a.
Are you pointing out hypocrisy? How dare you?
Let's keep it real. We can keep going with this. I mean, George Zimmerman, we can keep this going. So why is everybody mad now?
Well,
and you notice governor has not really talked about this at all. But when all these other ones happened, he was one of the first people up there.
Well, you also got to remember our governor in, what was it, Pennsylvania, had his house burned down.
Yes.
And our president hadn't really said anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't necessarily, I don't say good moral, but you want to be of good character, right? And we have elected a 42 time felon in the House, in the White House.
Oh, 34.
34.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Right, because he got out.
But
because the clock ran out on the other ones.
He was a felon.
He's a felon.
A felon.
And you wonder why there's this spirit of hatred and evil, and like the things we're doing is just like, you just like, why would you do this? Like, I just heard a story the other night, that a child was brought here, born blind and deaf, was having problems walking. I believe the child was from Peru, from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the ocular surgery to put in the thing, but then they revoked his visa. So now they got to leave. He still hasn't finished the surgery. And you're like, why? Like, what? Like, he's here. This is a child. And it's the cruelty of all of it. Yes. Is the cruelty of it all that is disconcerting, and this is not who, again, we have to get beyond the I told you so's now. Like we in the FO part now. Like, okay, now we done found out. What are we gonna do about it? Now, as I told you, when we go back to my plan, we must be committed to a plan that ends the Trump whatever, right? So that's one. Two, our leader, whoever emerges, A, won't be a politician, right? Like, I don't think he could be a politician. But B, maybe of dubious character, right? We want our, but that's not what's called for right now, right? Sometimes you got to call the wolves, you got to call the junkyard dog to keep the wolves at bay, right? So he may be of dubious character, right? And three, we must be willing to sacrifice our convenience for the pain of ending what is happening.
Well, I agree with you on all of it, and especially number three. We gotta, like I spoke about, and I think it was one of our shows where I was saying skip it, let's just go at them hard as they're coming hard at us. You know what I'm saying?
It's different now because the power dynamics are different, and so therefore, collective. Only thing that's going to beat it is collective.
And that's where I was leading to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm always saying to people, and hey, this time the people really got to step up because that's the only way that you're going to stop any of this. And that's been shown by the protests like you spoke about. All right. Now let's touch on something of a good remembrance.
Okay.
All right. We just had the passing of Pope Francis. Yeah. Good dude.
The people's Pope.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Real good dude. I mean, and how can I say? People should, follow some examples that this man has shown. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, he's a people's Pope.
He's a people. Yeah. I mean, rest in peace.
Right.
The changes he made in terms of LGBTQ, like he said, is a sin but not a crime. And which is progressive for the church.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that happen, and you say, well, how do you call yourself a Christian? For example, why aren't the Christians upset about this kid, from Peru? This charity is the found work or bulwark of Christianity, and when you hear these things and you say, well, where's the Christian right on this? Why aren't they protesting? Here's the thing, and we have to close with this. Empathy goes a long way. I should not have to know your pain in order for it to matter to me. It's enough that you're experiencing it. And what we are experiencing now and why there is protest is happening to you. Remember, I always come back, Dick Cheney, no gays. Daughter, I'm wearing the flag.
Right.
Nancy Reagan, I'm against stem cell research. Ronald can't remember his name. Oh yeah, we need stem cell research. Yeah,
exactly.
It is enough for you to express your pain for me to say, okay. And that's what wokeness, before it was taken by the right and turned into this monster,
misconstrued, and
it was, I'm going to respect you based on your now. Some of the stuff, like, I'm not referring to you as they, like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think you can, like, commandeer your language, you know what I'm saying? But
well, it should have been on that. It should be a thing of respect. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I'm not referring to you as they.
No. What I'm saying is this.
Unless you're schizophrenic.
Whoa. So what I'm saying is this. All right. You may make the mishap because you're used to saying a certain way.
Right.
And what I'm saying is that, You may try to change it or whatever, and you being respectful to them. And it's their level of respect is to be patient with you. You understand what I'm saying?
I
I
do.
mean, because a lot of our things right now as people, we have lost that little bit of respect that we need.
It's not just it's there's a line.
Yes.
If you appear to me as male, but you want to
I mean,
you want me to refer to you as she, okay. I mean,
yeah,
it
but
costs me nothing.
off
But if you want me to
off
refer to
the
you as they, I got a problem.
right,
Like,
right, no, and I get it, but that's what I'm saying. Off the jump, and I'm not trying to dog nobody or talk about nobody, but if I'm thinking that you are a woman, I'm gonna say yes, ma'am. Oh, my bad. You
right.
know what I'm saying? But sometimes you do that, and people are getting they getting on the attack of you, and I'm like, whoa, don't attack me. It was a simple mistake. My
Right.
bad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I want to refer to you in a way that expects and respond and honors your humanity.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. The
Um,
level of respect. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and you know, we can get into that whole conversation. I don't necessarily think I want to. I mean,
No, I wasn't
it's
even
just
saying that, but
it's
I'm just
just
using an example
you're
that
right,
it
right.
would
I
be
think the idea
a
is we
better
want
move.
to respect everyone's humanity
Right.
and honor
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
yeah. Am I as liberal on that as some people may think I am? Probably not.
Mhm.
I do have lines.
Yeah.
I'm not referring to another dude as sweetie.
No, no, that ain't now. See,
like
that's a
like
whole nother
story,
story.
right?
But
Yeah, it's. But I want to honor and respect you, and that's what I think was behind this.
yeah,
Like, if you have the right to exist as you feel exist in your heart and your God tells you.
right,
I don't know that conversation between you and your God.
right, exactly.
So,
So
and who you choose to love, well, the
that's your
fact of it,
business.
that's your business.
That's
And the
your
fact that you
business.
found love is proof enough to me that God exists.
Do your thing. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
whatever form that's in. If it allows you to be a better human and to live in respect and service to your other human being, fine. But yeah, I think, that's a discussion for another day. But what I do want to say is, as we come to the top of the hour, actually going over,
It's all good.
it is important that you stay vigilant, that you protect yourselves. Collective empowerment is the only way things are going to change. We can never give in to despair. You must remain hopeful. And
Yes.
I only necessarily mean hopeful because I think hope is the last vestige of people who have nothing left.
Yes.
We must commit to action.
Yes.
And change. And as long as we continue to do that, there's always a chance.
Without a doubt. And before we get up out of here, I want to give a couple shouts out to a few people. I usually don't do this, but since we've been gone, people have made moves, things
Since
have
you've been
happened.
gone.
Exactly. So, first, congratulations to the new mayor elect,
Oh
John
yeah,
Lash.
John Lash. Yeah, we
Right.
gotta have him back.
Right. Well, I know he got a busy schedule, so we got to try to work that out.
We'll go to his office and do it there.
Hey, you never know. Congratulations to one of our former members, Mr. Edward Ash, aka the Gatekeeper. All right, he is now the new Park District Commissioner.
Yeah, he's
for
a
the city
commissioner. Yeah.
for city of Aurora. So
Yeah.
congratulations to the both of them. And as well, a member of our crew is not here, and I probably got a good guess why he is not here, and I respect that. He is a new grandfather, Mr. Timothy Evans. Congratulations, Grandpa.
Hey, little whiskey ain't never hurt nothing.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? And hey, I just wanted to throw that out there. All of y'all, we got to do what we need to do to keep together, keep building. Just like we were speaking about, we spoke about a few things, and I know we had some more things to go. But hey, we got a few at you, and we'll keep it coming at you. You know what I'm saying? So we are Elevated Vibes. It's your boy,
Boss man.
and I'm your boy Abdul Rashid. We will catch y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.